This is the tale of Lord Swallow, our indolent and degenerate boss, an ancient monster renowned as the ultimate boss and protector of the Tower of Ancients. Accompanied by his Death Knight, Patrick, and the charming Blade Maiden, Renee, Lord Swallow is about to discover that his seemingly lazy and tranquil existence is not as eternal as he once believed. This marks the third part of this manhwa. If you haven't viewed the previous parts, you can access it by clicking the I button located above, or the link is provided in description. The setting transitioned to 80 years ago, depicting the Grapenia forest ablaze. Swallow expressed remorse for the incident, apologizing to Grapenias and expressing disbelief that humans would commit such a bold act. Swallow wondered if the forest would recover quickly and if the forest's joy would return, since they had returned the favor to the humans. As the owner of Grapenia Forest, Earth's spirit, Grapenia sat on the ground in anger with the head of the human leader who started the fire. Swallow think about the ancient core using the forest as a natural fortress and the need to make a good impression on Grapenias. He questioned if all the humans who started the fire were dead and speculated that Grapenia's anger would gradually subside. Swallow found himself intrigued by the situation, wondering if the creature called the homunculus, a non-human created by a human, should be killed to eliminate any witnesses. He then informed the homunculus that her master's final words were that she were free to leave if she wanted. However, he clarified that he would not assist in her escape, leaving the decision of dying trapped in the forest or outside to the homunculus, named Lelo. Swallow mentioned that Lelo's master had been searching for a maid named Lelo, and since there were no other maids present, it must be her. His curiosity-driven mercy ended at that point. Lelo was the name of a maid who served the head of her household, and a title used to address the most talented maid. The current Lelo was a middle-aged head maid, and this homunculus had never been called nor addressed by that name, because objects like her didn't have names. However, because of that, she was experiencing something like that, and she said Lelo. Back to present at Chait Castle, Renee was sitting on the rock outside thinking about his past memories. His thoughts were interrupted as Ursabet said, "Renee, I heard the subjugation party sent by the Empire is heading towards the core of the Ancient." Renee replied, "Even if Ursabet says that, she won't go back to the core of the Ancient." Ursabet said, "I'm not telling you to go back. I value Renee's happiness, but I prioritize choice and freedom more. Shouldn't you make sure you settle all your problems? If it's those two, they'll look for you everywhere. If they find out you were tricked by a human and ended up like this, what do you think Swallow and even Patrick will do afterward? If you're going to keep living in the shadows, erase all your tracks forever? It doesn't have to be perfect. Even if it's clumsy, Patrick will know your intentions and take care of it. Because of the subjugation party, the core of the Ancient will be busy with cleanup for a few days. If you plan to tie the knot, it has to be now." As Renee contemplated her next move, she turned to Ursabet and informed her that she was planning on going somewhere far away to get some fresh air. Ursabet expressed concern, noticing that Renee's right eye seemed to be getting blurry, and asked if it was okay for her to go alone. Renee reassured her, saying that she was fine and thanked Ursabet for her concern. She then inquired about the whereabouts of her blade. The scene then shifted to an auction house, where Swallow confronted guard and asked them to divulge everything he knew about the beheading Fong. The guard, feeling pressured, revealed that it was submitted by the magic tower of Harston, specifically the wing. He pleaded ignorance regarding any further information and begged Swallow to believe him. Swallow think that it was indeed Harston, and confirmed with the guard that he had mentioned the magic tower of Harston's wing. Thanking the guard for telling the truth, he decided to spare his life. As Swallow and Melz began to leave, the guard whispered to himself, expressing frustration and anger at the situation. He questioned why he, a mere guard, had almost lost his life and cursed those responsible. Suddenly, Swallow appeared behind him, stating that he had done nothing wrong, startling the guard. Swallow clarified that the guard had indeed done nothing wrong, but had unfortunately caught his attention. He questioned the guard about the terms used when stepping into his territory, mentioning words like massacre or slaughter. Swallow pointed out that they often use fancy words like raid or subjugation, and questioned if the guard had ever felt sorry for the monsters he killed. He asked if the monsters had done anything wrong to deserve being killed. He then declared that the guard was just his enemy, which was why he was taking action. In the auction room, the auctioneer declared, "Someone has bids 35 billion ounces of gold." Following suit, participants chimed in with bids of 38.4 billion, 39.8 billion, 50 billion, 60 billion, 70 billion. Afterward, the auctioneer proclaimed, "We have 70 billion on the table. Is there anyone else?" and repeated the inquiry. The girl with blue hair named Win Historia, an executive hero of the Black Tiger's order, said, "I'm bored. Should we join the bidding too? We can do it just for fun and fool around a bit." The girl with red hair named Garrett, an executive tracker of the Black Tiger's order, asked, "What? Get a grip, Ms. Win. We're here for auction security, not to participate," Win replied. "Yeah, she can't seem to joke around with her," Garrett reminded her. "You shouldn't forget our purpose. Anyway, let's finish this up and go get something delicious to eat," Win suggested. "Maybe a salmon sandwich or a pumpkin tart. I also want some pudding." The auctioneer inquired, "Does no one else wish to bid? I will make the third call and conclude this auction." In that instant, Swallow emerged on the stage questioning, "By whose permission?" Employing demonic power, he swiftly dispatched the auctioneer, declaring himself as the one to conclude the auction. Witnessing Swallow's formidable abilities, both Win and Garrett were paralyzed with fear. Simultaneously, Swallow addressed the gathering, asking, "Are all of you here to buy the beheading fawn?" In the Empire, there were 3 warriors known as the Warriors of the Empire. However, when one of them, Bern Hishtoltz, died while attacking a dungeon out of personal interest, public criticism arose. People questioned how a warrior, whose duty was to protect the Empire, could die in such a manner. Unable to blame the late Bern, the finger of blame was pointed towards the remaining 2 warriors. One of the 2 warriors believed that it was essential to instill trust in the people of the Empire. They wanted to suppress their survival instincts and ignite their fighting spirit. However, as Win prepared to rush forward and attack, she was stopped by Garrett. Fear filled her eyes as she looked at Swallow and pleaded, "You can't go. Absolutely not. That thing is far too dangerous." With a sigh, Swallow responded, "It was just a hunch, but it's actually real. I can feel Renee's traces emanating too strongly to call it a fake." As expected, Renee was done in by those human bastards, he continued. "Though the situation is too complicated to explain in detail, this item actually has an owner already. So I'll be returning it back to its original owner." "What a shame. It would have sold for a high price." "Well, since you've gotten to see it." Before he could finish speaking, a person from the crowd interrupted, shouting, "Guards, what are you doing?" "Stop that bastard," Swallow responded. "Right, it looks like you have no intention of sending me off nicely." "It's fine, I feel the same way. I'm going to rip you all to pieces and bury you with this blade." As Swallow said that, Win rushed forward to attack, saying, "You think I'd allow that?" Swallow looked at her and thought, "That's quite the fast-flying squirrel." He observed her decent movement paired with decent battle gear, but unfortunately noted that she had no talent for it, and no weapons other than those gauntlets. In that case, he decided to grab her hand and smash those gauntlets to pieces. However, he couldn't help but be impressed by her skills for a human. As she rushed again to attack with her crushing blow, he stayed still and tried to grab her gauntlet. Her attack hit Swallow's hand, surprising him with a display of formidable attack strength and causing him to crash into the wall behind him, creating destruction with the impact. She's a bit fatigued, took a deep breath and stood still, while he laughed and said, "So you weren't just any old kid?" She wondered, "He's still alive? He's not dead? That can't be. That technique destroys most dungeon bosses without even leaving a trace. Even the replica of the Apocalypse, said to easily withstand any 3 blows, was once destroyed by a single blow from that technique. Black fluid, no gas? So he's not a human, but he's no ordinary monster either." "Just what is he?" he replied. "What? A pity," and attempted to eat her with his demonic power. However, at that moment, Garrett rushed forward and tried to save Win. She tore the scroll, using scroll magic to teleport her out of harm's way. A little later, Melz asked, "Sir Swallow, are you safe?" "I was worried," Swallow reassured her, saying, "Well, I'm fine." Melz questioned further, "Are you really okay? I thought you died a helpless death." Swallow pondered, "I wonder, I'm still alive." And he thinks that the attack earlier is not something that a human is capable of delivering. If something like that had hit his heart, he might have been so surprised that it could have undone his polymorph. And if his polymorph got undone, then Patrick would have definitely. He doesn't even want to think about it. He'd probably take death over that. But more importantly, he missed them all. There weren't 1, but 2 flying squirrels, that redhead especially. While he was distracted by Blue Hair, she evacuated everyone, cast several layers of protection magic on Blue Hair, and escaped the clutches of his magic at the same time. Interesting. As the scene shifted to a little distance from the auction house, where Wen teleported, she fell to the ground. An old person exclaimed, "Something fell over there!" A second person reacted, "What on earth is happening?" "Hey, there's someone here," the old person asked. "Are you awake? She's very injured. Call the guard, no, the healer." She thought, "Even though I'm a warrior, I was defeated by an unknown monster with a single strike. Are the people in the auction house safe? What about Garrett?" And she said, "Garrett." In reply, Garrett asked, "How can I hear you when you call so softly?" This surprised her, and she said happily, "You're alive, Garrett." Garrett said, "Miss Wen, you should thank me quickly. If I wasn't there, preparations for her funeral would be underway." Then she noticed Garrett's severed arm, and Garrett reassured her, "Don't fuss. It's no danger to my life." She, while crying, said, "Sorry. Because of me, Garrett, I'm a failure as a hero. Garrett, I'm sorry." Her talk was interrupted as Garrett shouted, "Wen Historia, get a hold of yourself. You are a hero. I'm sure everyone's going to love seeing a hero of the Empire cry their eyes out, yes?" And she whispered, "And if it's just one arm, it's nothing, alright? Do you not know who you were up against, Miss Wen? That monster was the core of the ancient swallow." In response, Wen asked, What are you talking about? Don't make fun of me. There's no way a monster like that would come here." Garrett replied, "I don't know the reason either, but I'm certain. He really is Swallow. That black calamity is the ancient monster Swallow. On that monster's foot were traces of hero Bern Hishtalt's fresh tracks that looked to be less than a month old. It's more serious than we thought, Miss Wen. If this continues, the Empire might fall." Wen exclaimed, "If it's really Swallow, we must make more efforts to stop him. This is the territory of the humans. We have the upper hand." Garrett interjected, "Miss Wen, this is not something we can figure out with our strength. You felt that immense power right in front of you. We have no chance of winning right now. We need to head to the Demon Subjugation Coalition for more assistance and report to the Imperial family. So, I will move by myself first. In my current condition, I can't teleport the both of us, so Miss Wen, you stay here for now." And she used whispers of light, cure, and said, "It won't heal you completely, so please don't roam around and wait for me here." Wen asked, "Wait, but we don't know when that monster will rampage again." Garrett pleaded, "You should still wait, please," and used teleportation to disappear. Then the scene shifted to inside the auction house, where Swallow thought, "So annoying, should I leave the ones who escaped and go to Harston? Or should I follow them and remove the risk factors? What should I do? Since I safely recovered the beheading Fang, let's just leave it at that. Moreover, I have a goal I must not forget. I should at least find Renee's body." Swallow turned to Mel's and said, "Let's prepare." She, looking gloomy, replied, "Okay." He asked, "Is something wrong?" She responded, "No, there's nothing wrong." He questioned, "What is it?" "It doesn't look like it's nothing." She addressed him as Sir Swallow and continued, "You truly are strong." She thought she knew it due to what she saw back at the Demon King's castle. But the more she learned, it seems you're stronger than she expected. Though you said you're one of Ms. Renee's friends, you're much stronger than she thinks she was. Am I wrong? Or is Ms. Renee much stronger than she realized? Please tell me, Sir Swallow." She then inquired, "Who actually are he?" He lightly hit Mel's on the head and called her a brat, saying why she was depressed over something like that. "He is just Sir Swallow. Once everything is taken care of, I will tell you the truth, okay?" Mel's nodded in response. Swallow then said, "Now let's finish things. Show them a power of the Demon Kings." She cast aside her hooded cloak and transformed into her version 2, saying, "All right, Sir Swallow," then using reconstruct magic to cause a huge explosion. People witnessing the explosion exclaimed, "What the hell is that? And what is that explosion?" She thought that place is the direction of the auction house. Damn, to do such a thing in the middle of the capital. Do those damned creatures know how many people there are in the capital? What should I do? As she stood up, she recalled what Garrett had said earlier. "So please don't roam around and wait for me here, please." Frustration was evident on her face as she thought about that. But her thoughts were interrupted when a child grabbed her hand and said, "Miss, my dad is over there," while crying. She clenched her fist firmly and shouted, "It's all right, don't worry, everyone. I will take care of everything, because I am the hero Wen Historia." She thought to herself, "I won't avoid a monster like that." Alright, everyone, that's the end of the video. If you liked this video, comment, part 4, in the comment section. Also, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and like the video. Thank you for watching, and see you next time again.